everybody, it's Marie from We Want to Homeschool. I am so sorry I started this channel. No, I'm not sorry that I started this channel, but I am so sorry that I haven't posted for so long. I started this channel at the beginning of the pandemic, which was a year ago. Can you guys believe it's been a year? Amazing. It just flies by so fast. And I said that we really wanted to homeschool, some reasons why, some cute videos about it, and then I stopped posting. We started homeschooling and my life got super busy and crazy, which is an excuse. I know I could make time for this, and I just didn't make time for it, and it just fell off my to-do list. So yes, we are officially homeschooling. We have been officially homeschooling this 2020-2021 school year. My husband still didn't really think it was best for our kids personally from his point of view, but he said that he just trusted me and said, let's try it and see what happens. And so I'm really grateful for his support. I need it. I need it really bad. Some days, there have been days where I'm like, why am I doing this? Like, I should just send these kids back to school. This is so hard and they're not listening, and the lesson plan that I worked so hard on is just not going well. But then there are other days that I love them. Like, my little 6-year-old is sitting in my lap and we're reading and we're learning, and I'm just thinking, I'm so glad that I don't have to send you off on a bus every morning to send you away, and you can be here with me in our home, and it's just been awesome. And then there are other times, when the kids are really learning and listening and having fun and just being kids, being wild and free and playing outside and just having more freedom to be kids and do the things that the kids really need to do that they miss out on a lot. When they're spending so much time in a school setting and with a bus ride and everything. So yeah, I'm so glad to have him here in our home, and we're learning together, and I've learned so much, and there's still so much to learn. I can't believe the school year's almost over. We only have 5 more weeks until our summer break. I was thinking I wanted to do year-round school. It's a little much to put on my kids. They abhor the idea because they've been in public school for so many years. My oldest that's in homeschool is 14. And then I have a 10-year-old, and then an 8-year-old, and then a 7-year-old. And I also have a 17-year-old who is actually still in public school. She's a junior going to public high school. And so they have been in public school for a long time, and they're used to their summer breaks, and so we're going to take a summer break. We'll see what happens next year as far as maybe year-round or we are going to do a little bit of learning. Actually, I really, really want to do some writing stuff during the summer. Just nothing huge, but just like they really need to work on their writing. It's a weakness, I guess. It's something we need to work on. Something we need to work on. So I want to get the, I can't remember what it's called, the Institute for Writing. Okay guys, I can't remember the exact name of this. Institute for the something writing. Their DVDs, it looks amazing, and so I want to try that this summer and hopefully get them to love writing and get them more proficient at writing. So yeah, it's been going well. I see all these cool things and I want to change them, and I did that a couple times kind of, and it didn't go so well because my kids don't like change, and my husband has to remind me, hey, you know what, they need consistency. And so we're working this out through the rest of the year, even the things that aren't going so well, and then I'm really ready to start fresh next year and do some really fun new things that I'm excited to share with you guys. Yeah, what else? So I guess I wanted to tell you kind of what we've been doing. So we started out with the good and the beautiful. That's how I was introduced to homeschool, and how I actually thought, oh yeah, I can do homeschool because it was so easy. I really wanted a preschool program for my son, my little one, before the pandemic started, and I didn't want to send him off to preschool, and so my sister suggested the good and the beautiful, and I got it and I tried it and I absolutely loved it. I loved it, loved it, loved it. It was super short, full of games. It was all planned out for me, and it was perfect. And I'm thinking, maybe I can homeschool, because I was always overwhelmed with the thought of I'd have to do all these lessons plans and stuff, which is funny because now I'm moving more towards that. Like I want to do my own lesson plans, not necessarily because I like all the work, but just because the open and go, it's not working super well for my kids. It's just like the separation of each subject doesn't really sing to my heart. Like I love it and it's easy and I know they're learning everything they need to know, but I want to do like I want to do unit studies with like a bunch of Waldorf philosophy kind of thrown in there, and also some Charlotte Mason because I really love reading. I love reading aloud, and so I want to kind of mix those two together, and I want to have all our subjects like meld together. Like we do a unit study and we incorporate the art, especially this is why I love the Waldorf, is like the art is so important and the beauty and like the whole child, you know, we doing activities to learn and then them making their own textbooks with this beautiful art and with their writing. And I'm kind of struggling to decide, well, because I love the good and the beautiful language arts, like it's phenomenal, but I kind of want to move over to this Waldorf where I tell the story from my heart and they listen and we do all these projects and we do these art projects and they write about it, and then like we can have rough drafts and I can go through and correct those, and that will help them learn more to write well and to use proper punctuation. And I think they can learn most of the stuff from that. I know there will still be gaps, but there's gaps in every curriculum, right? And then I do want to still use the good and the beautiful curriculum that they have. It's free online. Like you can download levels 1 or K, I think K through 5 for absolutely free. I love the good and the beautiful, and they're so, they want help. They want to help everyone, and they're not trying to just make money. Like it's so good. And so I want to get the dictation and spelling things from that, because I think in the morning time during our morning basket I want to have this little rotation. Now I'm like explaining all of this little rotation where each kid comes to me for just 10 minutes and we do some mental math and we do some dictation and spelling, and that's it. Like maybe not both of them every single day, but kind of switch off and on one with the other. So they still are getting that dictation and spelling and that daily math. But then we'll have like the unit block, which is not really a unit block study because it's all the kids mixed together. So yeah, it's a unit, main unit block. That's what the Waldorf is. You guys, I've been trying to study this Waldorf and it's really, really hard to like, to take it all in. Like I still have to study it a lot to incorporate that kind of philosophy in our homeschool, but I'm really liking it. In fact, I've heard of it before and I've kind of moved just a little bit towards that, because for our history and our science, instead of them doing like the assigned work pages with those, we do the good and beautiful with those too. I stopped with that. The kids didn't really like it. They were whining about it. They're complaining about it. They weren't really getting much out of that particular, but I love the lessons. And so I have them journal. I have them draw a picture and journal every day. We do it like, what did you learn? What do you remember? How do you feel about it? And so that's kind of a tiny little smidgen of Waldorf that I've sneaked in there that I really like. But I want to take it a step further this year, like a big leaps and bounds further actually, because I will be planning my own my own units, and I just can't afford to go out and buy the whole Waldorf unit because they sell it as like a whole year and it's like $450, which, you know, is an okay investment. But just if I bought that for every kid and then like I would have to pick through it anyway and try to mesh them all together because I have different ages, which isn't exactly the Waldorf, you know, education, because it's very stage oriented. But anyway, okay, I was talking to the camera for like 25 minutes and it cut me off because my camera can only video for 10 minutes. So I don't know what I said. It's probably good it cut off because this would have been a video that was way too long. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna try to incorporate Waldorf style into next year, and I will make a separate video on that because it's gonna take way too long to explain it. I just wanted to kind of show you guys the fun thing we do on every Friday. I wanted to teach the kids the 50 states, of course, the names of all the states and where they are. And I wanted to do it in a fun way, and so we started. I remember that we sang 50 Nifty United States when I was a kid, and I actually really liked that song. I thought it was fun, and I never really learned my states that well, just memorizing. Like, I've never been good at rote memorizing, never ever. Like, it's not a strength I have. I remember a few of the things. Like, I remember Oklahoma because it looks like a finger pointing and saying Oklahoma, and then I remember Illinois because it was kind of shaped like a mouse, and my teacher said it made an ill noise. Anyway, and then of course I know several others, like most of the western states, because that's where I'm from. And anyway, but now that we've been working on them, I know pretty much where all the states are, because we've been singing it every single Friday. And I told the kids, if you can point to each state, and that song goes fast, if you can point to each state as we sing the song, then you guys will get a reward. And they're like, what do we get, $100? I was like, no, not that much, but how about a quarter for each state? And so they went and they figured out how much that was, and they got really excited. And so they were super excited for like the first couple days, or the first couple times we did it. Probably only the first time, because then they realized how hard it was to go so fast and how little of the states they actually knew. And so they kind of all just gave up. And I was like, oh, darn, well, what should we do? Did I tell you I made this map? I made this big map. I stayed up late one night. It took me like 2.5 hours for the contiguous United States, not continental, because Alaska is on the same continent. Contiguous, the ones that all touch each other. I made a map. I just hand drew it. I just like got my computer open to a picture of the United States, and I hand drew it on this huge paper. And I wasn't sure if I wanted to label it or not label it, because I didn't know if I wanted the kids to just know it by heart without the names. But a few weeks ago I decided, okay, they're not really into memorizing this anyway, so let's make it fun. Let's just learn about each state, one state each Friday. We'll just learn a little bit about it. And so we're just going in alphabetical order. So we started with Alabama. We learned where the capital was, like the state flower, all that stuff. And then Alaska was the week after, and I had to draw Alaska because I hadn't drawn it yet. I just wanted to make sure I drew it to scale and it wasn't stuck onto the United States, like down below it, because I think sometimes when kids see that, because it's so common to have that on every map, because that's really the only way you can do it, it confuses them, and they're like, oh, this is where Alaska is, and it's not that big. And so I drew it to scale. I drew it on a separate paper so we can move it up and say, hey, this is really where Alaska is, and this is really how big it is. And they thought it was the coolest thing. Like, they had no idea Alaska was so big, because even on the maps and the globes, like, it's not next to the United States, so it's hard to really compare. But when you can actually put it on top and see how much space it takes up, it's kind of a cool thing. And so anyway, we did that last week, and then we did Arizona this week today, and I videoed some of that. I filmed it with our morning basket routine, so here's that. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. So sorry, I thought I had recorded us coloring on the map and shown the map more, but like I said, my camera only records for 10 minutes, and once 10 minutes was up, we hadn't finished morning basket yet. And so it stopped recording. So I'm going to show you guys a video of the map so you can see what it looks like. And as you watched our morning basket, like, this is real life, right? People are like not cooperating. People are like kicking at each other and being grumpy sometimes. But that's what life is at our house anyway. So I didn't want to make anyone think that it's all roses and rainbows here. I need to show you guys the books that I used for teaching the kids about the 50 states. So there's only one that I actually own. It's State Capitals. It's a Kane Miller book. I bought this one when I was an Usborne Books consultant, which I love these books, you guys, but I'm just a terrible salesperson. So I really, really, really like this one. I'll show you what I don't like about it, which I didn't realize till we started actually labeling the states and stuff. Okay, so on each page it's got the state and the capital. So this tells a little bit about the capital, which I think is really cool because most books don't really focus on the capital city. And then it has the flag, which I like. It has the state flower, state animal or mammal, population, capital population, and other large cities. I love that it has the flag. I love that it focuses on the capital city. I love that it shows you where it is on the map. What I really don't love and think is a huge flaw is that it doesn't show you where the capital is on the map. And this is a state capital book. So you would think that it would show you where in the state the capital is located, and it doesn't. So that really bothers me. But other than that, the illustrations are beautiful. It's easy to read. It's just not too much information, but just enough, and it's about the capitals. And then at the end, it also has flowers and animals and flags. Yeah. So that's states and capitals, Kane Miller books. These other ones I got from the library. This one I really like, 50 states. I almost bought this one, and then I reminded myself that I spend way too much money on books. And I needed to look and see if I could get it from the library, and here it is. Yay, free. This one's huge, it's colorful, and it's got a ton of information on each spread. So each state is a full 2-page spread with tons and tons of information, key facts. So it does show you where the capital is, which is nice. It does not have the state flag, but in the back it has state flags. And then, yeah, like I said, tons of information. The one thing I don't like about this one is just the states are really stylized. I think when I was drawing my big map, I just really got to know the state shapes because I had to draw I tried to be as accurate as I could, and so I drew every little zig and zag, not every little zig and zag, but I tried to be as detailed as I could and include all the details. And this is very stylized and rounded, and Louisiana doesn't have any of its little jigs and jags here, especially Alaska. It looks doesn't even look like Alaska really that much. But other than that, I mean, it's colorful. It's got tons and tons and tons of information. So that one's really good. This one's really good. This one's fun. It is 50 states and how they got their names. So this one, I was excited to try a little bit of the Waldorf thing, the Waldorf style, and so I read about Arizona and how it got its name and tried to really know it by heart so I could tell the kids in a more story-like fashion without reading but just telling. And so that was fun. How Arizona got its name. So I really like that. It's just something different. It tells how they got their names, and then it's got nice illustrations. It gives the kids the ideas of what to draw. So my daughter was drawing a cactus, and I drew a snake. But yeah, that I like that. I think it's fun. And then 50 adventures in 50 adventures in 50 states. This one is really nice too. This one, I own a book. It's by the same artist and publisher, and the one I have is national parks, and I really love that one. I love the art. This is beautiful, beautiful, colorful. I love the art. And then it's different because it doesn't have a picture of the states. Of course it does in the beginning. It has a map of the United States. There's poor tiny Alaska again. Which is nice. But then each page it tells you different fun adventures that you can do in that state, which I think is fun. It's just something different. And then in the back it says 5 adventures in your own neighborhood that you can do. So I really like this one too. If I were on a budget and I couldn't get these at the library and I could only get one of these books, I would get this one. I really like the combination of all of them together. But this one is heavy. It's so big and heavy and doesn't fit on a bookshelf. That's my other gripe about this one. But it's so loaded with information that this that's the one I would choose. But I do like all the other ones, and I like to have them together in a combination. Because I mean, we only have like spend 10 minutes on it, and they're drawing and labeling it while I'm reading to them or telling them stories about the states. And so yeah, it's been really fun. So that's our little 50 states Friday fun lesson, I guess. Thanks. I look forward to making many more videos and doing it regularly, hopefully, right? I'm saying that now. Who knows, like maybe I'll get sick of it and stop again, or not sick of it, but just be like concerned with other things, you know. Homeschooling kids takes up some time. And anyway, so looking forward to making some more videos. Bye!